This is RF from the Country Lunch Show. Let's get back to part four of our February 19th, 2020 interview with Paleo Mountain Man and Budcat 7.
They weren't
And
running around killing each
where
other.
the evidence is. That's
Exactly.
where the evidence of what they were looking at and what they were thinking about.
That's right.
That's where the evidence is. It's in these sacred places, these observatory areas, or in the stone walls and stone constructions themselves. That's where the evidence is to what they might have been thinking. It's just, it's our job now to sort of try to get into their heads. And this is what, Jimmy's trying to do. This is what I'm trying to do. And it's interesting what you said, both of you said. But in the Bible, it says there's something that Jesus said in the Bible. He says this. He said, "If your eye be single, your body will fill with light." And that was one of the things he said. And another thing that Jesus said often was, "Take no thought." Take no thought. In other words, empty your mind. Empty your mind of all of these distractions, and then you'll be in touch with the sort of cosmic consciousness, cosmic intelligence that we call God, and what ancient peoples could have called something else, but you're all basically the same thing.
Close your eyes to see.
Right. To see with your third eye.
That's right.
And to me, it's just very interesting when you look at the stone chambers, and that's another thing about Vermont too. Not only does Vermont have a lot of the dolmen and the Neolithic constructions around the state, but it's also the state with the most stone chambers.
Yeah.
And I find that very interesting. Why did they pick that area of the Northeast to contain so many stone chambers, whereas the other states didn't have nearly as much? So what does that say about Vermont up and above the rest of the states, the rest of the areas that it's surrounded by? I just find that very interesting and something to think about.
It was a very special place, and the geology
and as you said, those stone chambers might have been learning classrooms or labs or whatever.
They were temples.
Retreated to the chamber.
They were temples.
To reflect upon, everything about the culture, and also understand about the movements of the stars and the planets, and especially the sun.
I think a temple is a place where you would go to step beside yourself, beside your cares of your day, and you could build, one standing stone, and people still to this day, thousands of years later, gravitate to the big stone in the woods. There's something about
Absolutely.
And
you hear about it so much.
It's a temple.
You hear about it with people going out into the
is.
forest and the woods, and they, people having the same sort of revelations, similar experiences, and you have to say to yourself, well, why is that?
That's the thing. You have to ask why they built these things, not how. It's easy to move a stone. It's
right.
It's why they did it. And if you can balance a giant stone from one place using balance and balance it into the ground, that's almost like a prayer, because the stone is now balanced in this beautiful way. And that's how dolmens are. They're about shape and balance, and like an oval-shaped dolmen sitting on top of small dolmens. It has a center of gravity. It's usually right in the center of the stone. And that was very important, because you could balance that stone on one stone, one little tiny point, if you could. If you had it in you, you could balance it on that one point, and that was real special to them.
And that seems pretty clear, right? Because not only do you have perched stones and these dolmen-type perched boulders, etc., but you have what they call balance stones, where they take the stone and put it on
it's magical looking. Yeah, you can move the stone around like a helicopter. If you could take a giant stone, set it on one point, and spin it around like a helicopter with your finger. All that weight would spin right around because of the way it's balanced.
Like the Coral Castle, like the fellow who built the Coral Castle.
Well, anyways, you can find out more about what we're talking about by going to Paleo Mountain Man on YouTube, right? That's your site?
That's my channel.
And
right. I'll show you some great artifacts.
Stonewall Research, Budcat7,
Yeah.
for you, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Great. So on YouTube, so go there and find out more. You can keep up with from the beginning to where we are now, or even more. There's a lot of pictures there and videos.
It'll change the way you look at stone walls forever,
Yeah.
or any
Most
stone.
definitely.